Hey guys, what's going on? Hunter here from VW World. We got Kyle here.
How's it going?
And today we are doing a sub install on this 2018 GTI. What kind of sub do we got here, Kyle?
Yeah, so we have the Rockford Fosgate P300. It's a 12-inch sub. It's powered, so it already has the amplifier inside with all the hookups. Came with most of the wiring that we need. We just had to run to the store and grab a couple extra things.
So we got this little install kit. So we have our power wire, our ground, our RCA cables, and it should give us everything we need. And what we also got is this little device that will clip into our rear speaker wires, which will allow the remote wire to work on this. So first thing we're gonna do first is, of course, unhook the power, the positive, off the battery, and then we're gonna get started. All right, let's do this. All right, so we're unhooking the positive. We have a 10mm here on the outside. We'll loosen that so we can undo this battery terminal, pop it off, and then we can start doing all our wiring. Okay, so we're gonna run the ground wire underneath this, and we'll just put a self-tapper into the metal. We'll grind down the paint a little. We'll run our power cable up the driver's side here, and then we'll run the RCA's remote wire up the passenger side. And that's our plan for the cable so far. All right, so Kyle's popping up the little side trim pieces right here. This is where we're gonna hide our power cable. They just kind of pop out, their clips. You gotta put some pressure on it. But we're gonna start out with the power, and we're gonna actually come down here, and we gotta get through the firewall. If you don't have a clutch, there should be a boot that will make it so you can put it through where the clutch normally goes. But what we're gonna do is follow this red wire through, and then poke into the little boot right beside it, and then feed it through, and then we'll kind of run it down and get it out of the way and hide it. Okay, so when you poke your power wire through next to that red cable, you'll see down there, it's gonna come out right behind the battery on the boot. So what we're gonna wanna do is this bolt that Kyle just took out holds in the battery. It's a 13mm. Then we can remove this little bracket and then pull the battery out. And that way it'll give us access to get back there and feed it through a little bit better. Okay, so when you get that bracket out, it'll still allow you to slide the battery back because there's a fixed bracket on this side. So it still gave us this amount of room to be able to grab the power cable. We'll route it around, make it look clean and professional, and we'll slide the battery back into place and put this connected to the positive post. All right, we got this snapped down. Right in here, we ran it behind the seatbelt under the trim. And you can see it poking out there. We're just working it under all the trim pieces and getting it to the very back. All right, we got our power all the way back here. We're gonna route it up right in here. You can see we sanded a little flat spot on the ground, and we got a self-tapping screw. We're gonna put the ground in right here so the power and the ground come up right by each other. We'll have our sub sitting right up here. So we're gonna go ahead and self-tap in right there. There we go, we have a ground. All right, so since we're placing our amp and sub right here, we set this as a point to have everything come through. So for now, we're just kind of taping our 3 wires together, our RCAs, our remote, and then our little tuner. We're just taping them together and then kind of working them up on the other side. If you want to, later on, you can wrap these in loom or whatever you like, depending on how professional you want to make it look. But we just have them taped together for now, running it up the other side, running it under the clips. And then what we'll do is we'll run it under the passenger seat here, right up into here, and then we'll route it up the center right in here, just to make it easy. All right, while Kyle's working the cables under the seat to get it under the plastic on this inner side, route it up, I'm gonna start taking out the deck here since we don't have the CD player in the glove box, or otherwise we do that. But since all the connections are in the back of the deck, we need to start. I started with a small screwdriver. You get on the little edge here and you'll start popping the clips out and work it around. And then soon you should be able to do a little with your hands. Keep slowly working it and get the screwdriver back up and start hitting the outside here and get this whole frame out, and that'll give us access to the infotainment system. You can see the vents will come out with the system. Before we can completely remove this, there's a couple little wires for your hazard lights. We'll have to remove the clips. Yep, we'll remove those clips so we can take this piece and get it out of our way.
Just got a little pin on the side.
Okay. We pulled out the red release clip. We popped the hazard outwards. So now that'll let this be pushed through and we can remove this completely. And just set those to the side. And now with this unit, on older Volkswagens, you may have had the Torx, but we have some release pins on this. So if you look below, right in here, you can even stick a screwdriver in here. You have them on each side. So you have one right there. Then on top here, right in there, you stick a screwdriver in there or something small, you'll see how this little piece will slide into that notch and allow you to remove the unit. So, I wonder if these will work. So we'll I did that one. Kind of line them with the clips, push them inward. Again, you can kind of use any equipment as long as it's small and you're able to push those to the sides. These ones you gotta use something a little smaller like a flathead to push them to the side. And when all four are released at the same time, you should be able to start pulling the unit out. Clips are loose and we can see behind it now. So should be this little section. It's where we're gonna be splicing into, and then our power, of course. But we're gonna do the rear speakers, positive and negative on each side, and that's what we're gonna be hooking into. And power as well. So we'll get our little inline thing out. All right, so we're gonna split the wires, put our crimp-on connectors on. That will attach to our little filter, and then some heat shrink wrap over that, top it all off. So let's start cutting some wires.
And we've already went ahead and matched up with a VW wiring chart to our line out converter, just to make sure that we're cutting all the right wires. You want to know what you're cutting before you just start cutting in there.
So of course the main two, red power, brown negative, and then we're going to attach the speaker wires, which we can put our color combinations in the comment section on the video.
Yeah.
1 second. All right, so we're getting everything put together. We're gonna throw everything in line. We're gonna leave the stereo out after we get everything hooked up, so we can get the battery hooked up, and all the power, and actually make sure everything works before we install the infotainment system back in. All right, we're down to just putting in the remote wire, and then we basically have all the wiring connections finished. So a couple more and we're there. And now we're gonna try hiding this back behind the stereo if there's enough room. And now we're gonna kind of start tucking it away, but we're not gonna fully install the unit till we make sure everything works. So now we're gonna run to the back and plug everything in back there, and then we'll hook up the battery finally, and then we'll see if it works. All right, so we just hooked in everything to the side of our amp, which is built into the sub, and now we're gonna finish just plugging in the radio, hook up the battery, and we're just about there to see if everything works. right, battery's hooked up. Everything is hooked up. Should have working subwoofer. And yes, it is working. And that, guys, is how you hook up a sub in a 2018 GTI. All right, and while Kyle finishes up buttoning everything back up, I want to say thanks for watching, you guys. If you guys have any questions on installing subs in your GTIs, just put it in your questions in the comment section below, and we'll make sure to reach out to you guys and try answering those. And like always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and like on this video, and we're going to keep bringing some more Volkswagen content out to you guys. Thanks for watching, guys.